that cypress tree is actually growing out of the water, the backside. So that's actually the largest hardwood tree that grows from the water. The next closest would be a mangrove. If you ever seen a mangrove, they don't get near as big as a bald white cypress. But those roots right there, which like I said before, we call cypress knees, operate kind of as a snorkel for the root system. Being that the root system submerged in water, those knees will grow up to the mean tide height, and they'll be able to still get oxygen to the root system while being submerged. What's kind of cool about it though is the root system of a cypress tree is going to be roughly about twice the diameter of the tree is tall. So you got a 60-foot tree, you got a 120-foot circle of roots pretty much. With that being said, anywhere where you have any number of cypress growing, the roots are more or less shaking hands, right? They kind of all intertwine together. So it helps them out a lot. Being in a low-lying area, come after a hurricane, you don't see a bunch of cypress trees down. You might see oaks down. I mean, if you're anywhere with pines, they just snap. But the cypress usually make it. Well, in a cypress swamp, an area that's got mostly cypress trees, if you were to drain it and look down, all you see is roots. Now, they don't grow together to become one organism like an aspen does on the side of a mountain, but they will grow and intertwine and kind of shake hands. Kind of cool to see that though, because you got the root, those knees right there, but the tree isn't immediately right there. The tree is actually a good ways behind it. There's areas where you'll see cypress knees sticking up on one side of the bayou, and the tree that it belongs to is on this side. They're also federally protected now, by the way.
All the fluffy stuff, is that lichen? Or is that...
No, it's actually an epiphyte.
It's what?
It's not a lichen, it's an epiphyte. Pineapple's also an epiphyte, it's just this rootless plant. It's called Spanish moss. Y'all from the UK? Yeah. Y'all ever been to Spain?
Yeah.
Right there. Y'all ever see Spanish moss in Spain?
Not that I can remember, no.
There is none.
It's all here.
Yeah, it's all here. Ended up here on Spanish trade ships.
Wow.
So really it comes from the Caribbean. Spanish moss is anywhere you got a tropical or subtropical climate, it does really, really well. It'll just rock and roll. Likes the humidity a lot.
Does it go green in the summer? Or
Actually, when it's wet, it looks
When it's
green.
wet,
But for the
okay.
most part, it looks like this pretty much year round.
Okay.
It actually is non-parasitic though. It takes zero nutrients from the host that it grows on.
They're airborne.
Yeah, they're airborne. Exactly right. It's an epiphyte by definition.
As the wind blows, the seeds fall, and that's how they land on different trees, not just one specific plant.
Exactly right.
Okay.
And a lot of people come out here and say, well, I want to see the cypress trees, you know, the ones with the stuff on it. And I'm like, it ain't just the cypress trees. This grows on the power lines of my neighborhood. And again, it's not parasitic. It's literally an air plant. We used to export this stuff too.
And chiggers live in them.
They did. They do. Fortunately, we don't have to.
Chiggers.
Where are you from?
Texas.
What part?
Austin.
Okay. You don't have Boston. It's a
No,
little cold.
but I have family in Florida, and I was gonna take some because there's so much, and I was just really intrigued by it. So I did a lot of research on them, and you could clean them and get the bugs out of them. But yeah, the chiggers are little bugs that get in your skin and itch. And they're awful. Yeah.
The fortunate thing is, specifically where we're at here, is why we don't have a problem holding it. We don't have too many chiggers in these.
Yeah.
They're-
It's probably not like an infestation, but
No,
they
but
kind of live in it.
So funny thing about this stuff. So, a guy that works here, his mom, house is super clean. She lives in the bike. Super clean house. Excellent cook. Love this woman to death. Walk in her house, and there's always a little pile of Spanish moss in the corner somewhere. Charlene, why do you have Spanish moss like that? She says, if there's a bug in this house, it'll find that pile of moss. Every once in a while, I'll take one out, go put it in the yard, grab a fresh piece, place it back there.
How funny.
Yeah, great. So this used to be an export. We used to use this for seat cushion stuffing, mattress stuffing. Here at Sleep Tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. That's where it originated from. Major Carroll settlers used to use this for mattress stuffing. Cotton was expensive. This is free. Funniest thing, in my opinion, about the Spanish moss, funniest story about it. So, the very first mass-produced automobile, the Ford Model T, the first run of them had Spanish moss and seat cushions for stuffing. Again, well, we were exporting it, and it was very cheap. Problem was, it had bugs were crawling out of it, and it made people's butts itchy. So, they called the first automobile recall. Bring your Model T back, work the bugs out. That's where that phrase comes from.
How
The
funny.
first automobile recall, it was Spanish moss and seat cushions to get the bugs out. Funny thing is, we're just talking about cypress. Cypress is federally protected now. You cannot cut down bald white cypress. It's full of an oil called sepsinium, and that's what prevents it from rotting. It's a tree that grows out of the water, right? dead cypress will continue to stand for years and years. Dead cypress on the bottom of the water becomes what we call pachycypress. It gets petrified. Not only does the Satsinium prevent it from rotting, but also termites, bugs, they won't eat it. So it's about the best building material you could ever ask for, but it's the most unsustainable thing in the world. It takes 600 years to reach full size. So yeah, cypress is not a good thing. They're federally protected. They're not a good thing to harvest. They're federally protected. Go walk around the French Quarter and get in some old buildings. You know, it's a lot of old hardwood floors and old, you know, exposed load-bearing beams and things like that. 90% of it's cypress. It's well over 100 years old. Again, not knowing any better, when we were selling Spanish moss at the turn of the century, we were shipping it in crates made of cypress. So after a year or so, these old crates are sitting behind the Ford plant. Was that Dearborn, Michigan, I believe, where that was at? And Ford was like, these crates look like the day they got here. They just went through a whole winter. Whatever wood that is awesome. Okay. So they kept buying the Spanish moss from us, even though we weren't using it. They weren't using it anymore. They switched to cotton. But they were getting those crates made out of cypress, and they bust the crates down. The second production run of Model Ts had cypress floorboard instead of pine. That was reusing the crates and they were shipping the stuff. So put myself in the spot. I'm not going to be able to do it, but it actually separates into a fine twine inside of it. Let's see. Put myself in the spot. There we go. Got it. So that's what the inside looks like. See that?
Yeah.
So, in the early days of medicine, at least down here, they used to use that for internal sutures.
Oh, that's
It's organic. The body will absorb it. I mean, it's not like getting internal sutures today where you can go run a marathon 3 days later. You know, you had to be bedridden for a while.
Eat it.
It can also be twine woven together. Fake twine, kind of like hemp, wouldn't be quite as strong, but once it dries, it actually is. Yeah, it's worth a nickel. So, I have any questions?
Can I feel it?
What's that?
Can I feel it?
Yeah, you can have it. There you go. It's all yours.
What do you say? Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, why you chickens?
Oh, this is ours, Grant.
Yeah, that's not going in the hotel room.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
All right, Cole, you gotta sit. We're gonna.
No, I'm seeing my dad.
Yeah, get it.
A plant is, you know,
Yeah.
and you can clean them.
Yeah, you can buy it like
Oh yeah. Yeah, in our house.
Now, this is really good.
Put it in the spot.